Next up, Laude Classic Cars at Kaltron Fine Cars. Race number 1. A huge field. Pole position, PW Lowe, Michael Hitchcock, Franco Donadio, Bruce Van Taplin, Ferdy Maton, Trevor Momberg, Brian Evans, Byron Bedin. That's your top 10.
Right, so here we go. Laude Classic Cars and Kaltron Fine Cars. Also, you were telling me earlier on that KVLO RX-7 is out of Roche. Westpac modified saloon car.
Yep. It's a classic. And then we've got Ferdy Maton is fighting for the championship, and Calvin Beekman in the Morris is fighting for the championship.
Yeah, and of course we've got a Mini out there. That is
Valentine.
Mr. Valentine, yes, in that Mini, as the Laude Classic Cars and Kaltron Fine Cars slot into their grid positions. That's Dion Conradi going through. That is Kubus, not Kubus, what's his name? Klaassen is his surname. Theo Klaassen, yes, that's busy going through as well. Lane Hutchings taking up his position. Trevor Hutchings just ahead here of Malcolm Pfeiffer. Herman de Kok slotting into his position, I see, as the field just comes running through. Lots and lots and lots of fine cars. 39 cars have entered for this fine car race. I don't know if you're going to see all 39, but 39 initially entered.
If you look at the back of the fine cars, there's actually a Mustang in fine cars.
Yes, Peter Hitchcock, yes.
And he's not been well of late, but now he's decided to come and race. I saw him yesterday. He was full of beat. There you see it at the back, the right-hand side, the blue and white Ford Mustang.
Oh, when I say 39 cars, I mean 39 classic and fine cars combined, yes.
Yes, but it's a big field. PVLO sits on pole position. Michael Hitchcock. We're missing a car there in third, which should be Franco Donadio. He's not there.
Oh dear. Quite right.
Then we've got the Giant Slayer there, Bruce Van Taplin in that very quick Corolla. Ferdy Maton, Trevor Momberg, Brian Evans, Byron Bedin, Glenn Athan Bogart, Ian Richards is out there, Lane Hutchings. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a star-studded field. Theo Klaassen out there, Charlie Arton in the Porsche 916. Stephen Manuel, Derek Truscott, Kuni Mattia, Doug Moore is out there. Yeah, it's quite a loaded field. So there you see the field coming up, the two pole sitters, Michael Hitchcock and PV Lowe. This is almost like a super saloon race back in the day. We now call it classic cars. But some real muscle cars and some lovely fine cars out there as well.
I'm joining you on this one, Francois, as they lead out and make their way through Sorrel Sweep down the Kalani Straight. to Pertamina Fostron, and then they'll get underway when the flag drops. Franco Donadio a little bit off the pace. He starts quite far back. He starts at the back end of the grid, rather, not even far back end of the Classics grid. But I see he also exited the pits late, and I think that's what put him at the back end of the grid, unless he didn't qualify yesterday.
No, he says it's in fine cars. Peter Hitchcock's in fine cars. At the bottom of the list. Oh, no, he's out. Is he there? Because he wasn't. Oh, has he got back? No, in that fine. No, I don't know.
They make their way under the City of Cape Town, Line Property Management and Castrol Energy Bridge. The lights go out and away the Classics go. Pierre Vialot holds the inside line in his beautifully run and sounding RX-7 ahead of Michael Hitchcock as they make their way into Holzhoek. And soon the fine cars lead into Holzhoek as well.
Well, you're right, Franco Donadio is out there, but he's way down the field, working his way through the field. On screen there, Pierre Vialot, Michael Hitchcock, Ferdy Maton up into third, Trevor Momberg, Bruce Avern Taplin, and Brian Evans there with Glenn Aiton Bogart, Byron Bedin, all working their way through, make their way through Lunstem King down towards Damstep, and work their way up the Tygerberg straightaway. You see on screen there, working their way up towards Sorrel Sweep. Pierre Vialot in the RX-7 Mazda leads out. Just so nice to hear the sound of Rotary at Killarney once again. Not as loud as they used to be, still can hear it. Michael Hitchcock chasing hard there. And, well, this reminds me of the old days when we had Ben Morgenrud and Willie Hepburn with the Rotary versus the V8. So those bring back memories. They're down into, making all the down the back straight, making their way now out of Pertamina Fostron, that's your leaders. And coming up towards the City of Cape Town, Castrol Bridge, Pierre Vialot, Michael Hitchcock, Ferdy Maton, Trevor Momberg, Bruce Avern Taplin, Brian Evans, Glenn Aiton Bogart winding up that Piranha now. Ian Richards is in there, Lane Hutchins, Dion Conradi, Dion Valentine, Franco Donadio down in 10th place. He'll work his way through the field though. He's just got an insurmountable amount of traffic ahead of him.
I don't see the Mazda. The RX-7 has disappeared.
Oh, has he gone off?
I don't know where it is. I see there's dust there.
Dust, yeah.
There, now he's
There he
made
is,
his way
yeah.
back. I wonder if he had a spin because he was fighting with Michael Hitchcock at the front. But now he's dropped all the way to the midfield and now has to claw his way back. So Pierre Vialot had some sort of issue. And there's the Granada Piranha of Glenn Aiton Bogart has also had an issue.
Yeah. Oh, a race of attrition, this one. So the Granada going slow. That's a pity there for Glenn Aiton Bogart. He had worked so nicely on that car. Michael Hitchcock out front. Not going to catch him too easily. Ferdy Maton sits in the like-minded Class B car behind him there with Trevor Momberg. Then Bruce Avern Taplin, Brian Evans. They all make their way down the back straight down towards Pertamina Fastron. Pierre Vialot now doing some catch-up there on screen. So he works his way down towards the back end there of Bruce Avern Taplin or Brian Evans. Pierre Vialot is obviously going to wind that Mazda up and try and come back to the fray.
Most definitely, that Rotary is going to be screaming around the circuit on an angry mission back to the front end of the field. And Franco Donadio has now passed Bedin. So he's now past Valentine now as they make their way into Holzhoek. Donadio now is 2 spots behind Pierre Vialot. So those two are probably going to fight it out like the olden days. I say like the good old days, but like years before when they were at the front end of the field. But now we watch there. There's Bruce Avern Taplin. There's Pierre Vialot. There's Brian Evans. We don't see Brian's son, Jared Evans, out today in Capri. That has some sort of issue and was not able to get out onto the circuit. There's a yellow flag there for a car just after the pit exit of the oval. There's a red car there. I can't quite see the number.
Right, so they're coming up towards us now. It's Ferdy Maton. There's having a look at Pierre Vialot up on the inside there of Evans. So they work their way down the back straight, down towards Pertamina Fastron. Michael Hitchcock leads them out. Hitchcock, Baton, there's Bomberg. Here comes PVLO. PVLO's up to P4 already. He's working his way through. Coming up there you see PVLO up behind Trevor Momberg already. So he's made up a lot of ground. He's going to be challenging. He's going to come past Trevor Momberg, and he's going to go blowing up behind Ferdy Maton. That is very quick coming out of PVLO. He's having, oh, a lovely black flame coming out of that car as he decelerates up behind Ferdy Maton.
After halfway down through the field, he's managed to claw his way back up to third position. He now sits there in third position with Ferdy Maton in the Mustang just ahead of him. That's the birthday boy from yesterday's Ferdy Maton. The flame-spinning Mazda RX-7 makes his way around the outside of Ferdy Maton almost. He's going to have to wait to make that move stick, and he'll jump it through and take that second position as the flames spit out of the rear end of the RX-7 rotary-powered Mazda. And they make their way down into Dam's Dip. And now there's the traffic from Roger Lewis, the last of the fine cars, the number 1 car. He'll move to the left-hand side of the circuit and let the likes of Trevor Momberg, Franco Donadio, and such as there's a car off. That's one of the BMWs. That's Thompson. That's Rowe, sorry. That's Rowe that's gone off. The Rowe BMW has gone off into the grass in one, so that's thrown out a yellow flag, but he's back on the circuit as the leaders now make their way down into Pertamina Fostron.
Right, so the leaders there on screen. There's PV Low. He's moved up quite quickly. And Uncle Michael Hitchcock, yes, Uncle Peter Hitchcock ambling around the circuit, gets passed by PVLO. Michael Hitchcock with Franco Donadio behind him, and Trevor Momberg. Then Bruce Van Taplin and Brian Evans make their way through, all down into holes.
With 5 laps to go, the fastest lap of the race by Mr. Franco Donadio in his Escort, a 1:24.535. As traffic bunches up coming out of Holes Hook, there's that 68 Mustang. Oh, no, not the 68, it's the other Mustang. I think that's the 69. The 69 of Peter Hitchcock has slowed Ferdy Maton and the rest of the grid up. He moved to the left-hand side of the circuit, and that gives Franco Donadio the chance to get ahead, get some clean air, as he now has to catch Pierre Vialot as well as Michael Hitchcock. 4-1. That is the BMW 2002 Turbo that sits on the right-hand side of the circuit. He is now off. And one person we're missing out is Dancing Dave Aladef. He wasn't able to make it this way. I think he's gone away somewhere, so he's not out here today. But we watch. There's our leader, Michael Hitchcock, in his Ford Mustang. The number 67 will come around the final corner to start another lap. We'll have 4 to go. And there's Pierre Vialot in shot, sliding that RX-7 around. And just shortly after, Franco Donadio will come into picture. That's your top 3, and they'll be fighting it out till the very end.
There's Franco Donadio, there's Ferdy Maton, there's Trevor Momberg, there's Bruce Van Taplin. So Donadio's gone up to 3rd overall, 3rd in class. Ferdy Maton. Donadio slowed right down with the Escort and he's running off the circuit. That car's gone poof. And that'll be the end of his race, and he won't be too happy about that one.
Absolutely not. As we watch come into picture now, there's an Anglia, but here comes Ferdy Maton with Trevor Momberg not that far behind, and Bruce Van Taplin also in the picture. Brian Evans is here. That's all 1, 2, 3, 4 cars from 4th till 7th in Class B. And then we see that's that VW Golf of Richards. He makes his way through. And then I see Dion Conradi in the Mini making his way through now as well. Oh, sorry, Valentine in the Mini and Conradi in the Conquest. And then Lane Hutchings in the Mark II Jumbo Golf. He's just behind those two. You see him go out of frame now. They are sitting, that is 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 1, 2, and 3 in Class C.
Lovely stuff. Pick up here. Dion Valentine in that Mini, throwing it around with Guy Bannon behind Dion Conradi. I tell you what, this is a lovely scrap. A little 1200cc chasing a twin cam Conquest. And Dion Valentine absolutely enjoys himself. It's like he's the giant slayer as he works his way down towards turn number 5, Pertamina Fostron corner. And he's sitting behind Dion Conradi. Conradi slightly has a bit of legs on him. And the field coming through. And there's Ferdy Maton, Bruce Van Taplin, and Trevor Momberg. Bruce Van Taplin is doing tremendously well today, sitting there, I think, in P4 at the moment.
Yep, and a new fastest lap ago by the 81 Mazda RX-7 of Pierre Lowe, a 1:22.912. He's the fastest car out in circuit and currently 4.5 seconds behind Michael Hitchcock. So he's got a little bit of catching up to do as we watch them now go onto the Killarney Straight, the backside of the circuit. Michael Hitchcock, as we're watching some traffic, there's Fadi Mouton, Bruce Evan Taplin, and Trevor Momberg making their way through Dams Dip. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th, respectively, as well as 6th. There's Brian Evans making his way through now, down the Tygerberg Straight, the sun in your eyes, as you make your way to the north side, the other side of the north side of the circuit, through Sorrel Sweep and down the longer straight around the circuit.
Fadi Mouton has got his hands full with Bruce Evan Taplin sitting right there behind. That little Corolla is absolutely flying, and Bruce is having oodles of fun there, chasing the back end of Ferdy. They've got 2 laps to go. Ferdy's going to have to know his P's and Q's not to allow Bruce Evan. Look there, Bruce Evan Taplin right there with him. And Trevor Momberg's right there. Fadi Mouton looks in his rearview mirror. He must be swallowing all kinds of worries there just to make sure that they stay behind him.
They had to swiftly get past the Morgan, one of the cars in the fine cars we haven't actually spoke much about. We'll get back to the fine cars shortly, as there's Brian Evans, there's Natasha Tissendorf, the cheerleader of the fine cars, there's Arnold Lambert, and then a beautiful Mark II Golf making its way across the line now. That will be, oh, I actually didn't see the name, but they make their way into Holes Hook now. There's the Conquest, there's the Mini. That is Conradi and Valentine still fighting it out for first and second in Class C. Now still a lap and a half to go as our leader makes his way around turn 4, Sorrel Sweep, and down the back straight, coming to the final corner before he starts his final lap.
Right over the line they go. Theo Glasson there with Charles Arton, and then Trevor Hutchins there sitting with him. They are fighting their way down the pack there. Theo Glasson having a good scrap there. Comes your leader, Michael Hitchcock. He's making his way down towards turn number 1. That's his last lap. 1 lap to go. PV Lowe is trying to catch him, but I think Michael's going to be pretty... And hats off to Michael Hitchcock, who's motor blue last time. He couldn't get parts from America. Scratched around the workshop, found parts, put the motor together, and yeah, look what we've got. PV Lowe's catching on the final lap.
Yeah, we watch him now go into Castrol Corner. He's driving that Mustang, that Cross Cape Forklift Services Mustang. The number 67 car makes his way through Lundstem Kink and into Dams Dip. We've seen before, and unfortunately he had a moment not that long ago where his workshop had burst into flames, and he managed to get not all it back, but he managed to build again, and he's come out swinging once again with Cross Cape Forklifts. He'll come down the Killarney Straight. Pierre Violo was in frame. You can see him. You'll see him come into the picture on the left-hand side. There he is, but I think he's just too far away.
He's just too far away. I think it's checkered flag time now for Laude Classic Cars. Big shout out to Laude, Jaguar and Sports Cars in Cape Town for sponsoring the class. They have been around. Clint Lawrence has been sponsoring them, and here comes your leader towards the line, Michael Hitchcock. He's got lights ablaze, flashing his lights. Well, there's a novelty. And PV Lowe right up there behind him. Well, what a great race from those two. We're going to wait for the Fadi Mouton debacle. Ferdy's still leading out. Trevor Momberg has got past the game down towards turn number 5. And Trevor Momberg is looking on the inside of Fadi Mouton. Oh, Ferdy holding them up. He's keeping the door firmly shut in their face. They're going to work their way now out of Pertamina Fostron. Here comes Calvin Bierkman. Don't know where Calvin is in the field. Quite a way down. He works his way over the line. And Momberg and Evan Taplin. And Ferdy has gone slow. Oh no! What is going with Fadi Mouton? It's just gone dead slow. Oh my word. On the line.
That is not a happy Mustang whatsoever. As young Engelberg comes across the line, Jake Wallage, Stephen Manuel comes across the line. Here comes the Conquest of Conradi, as well as Dave Alexander in the Morgan. There is Dion Valentine. Here comes across the line, as well as the Anglia of Arnold Lambert, Natasha Tissendorf. We didn't speak too much about fine cars, unfortunately, as Charlie Arton and Trevor Hutchinson come across the line side by side. Another RX-7, and then Roger Lewis in the background. There's many cars in this field, almost enough to get confused by, which is definitely what I did. We had 39 overall. But speaking of fine cars, the 928 of Konrad Mattia took first place in the 928, ahead of Dave Alexander, and then Jake Wallage in the Jag, that big monstrous boat of a Jag, came home in third. So brilliant results for race 1. And throughout all the classes, some brilliant racing. Can't wait for race 2.